Hey folks, it's Woody here over at USA Made Blade. Just coming to you from the shop this afternoon. We do this every year and always have a good time with it. And just some years it's been our top 5, some years it's been our top 8. This year, since the year was ending 2019, we did a top 9 of 2019. We're not going to say these are all our top 9 absolute favorites in the shop, but each one is represented for a different reason. So just trying to have a little fun with it, I guess you could say. So let's start with a couple honorable mentions, or just a few honorable mentions. Got to bring up, it did make it into our top 9 because it's not a new knife technically, but the White River Knives Knucklehead 2. The reason that we thought about putting this in the top 10 or top 9 is because they did upgrade that steel to S35, redid the packaging on it, and upgraded the Kydex sheaths a little bit. It's a fantastic knife, but it's an honorable mention just because it really hadn't changed. Also, as an honorable mention, we have to bring up a couple of our exclusives. So with the new knockouts, we were able to do a new run of those. This is exclusive to us. It's the M390 knockout, and we've got different colors this year. So not a new knife, not a new steel, just different colors. So that's why it's an honorable mention. Also in that same category, the Southern Grind Spider Monkey with our red G10 is an exclusive, and we love it, and we love the red G10, but the Spider Monkey has been around for a good little while. This is actually our second exclusive in the Spider Monkey, so and we've got a new one coming for 2020, so very excited about that. So let's get to it. Let's do our top 9, and some of these we'll go through quickly, and some of them are going to have a little bit more explanation. But let's start. And these literally just came out at our open house, and that is the TM Hunt Custom Knives slip joint. So this one happened to be a prototype. So it's these were 01 steel, but he's got them in some different steels coming very soon. They're going to be even more refined, and this really probably could end up being included much more in 2020, just because these prototypes, like I said, were a little rough on the finishes, but it was neat that they were prototypes and you won't get them again. But first ones ever made from Todd. But we're just super excited to see a fixed blade custom maker going into the folder realm. And I think Todd's gonna knock it out of the park. So as a matter of fact, our first round of the more full production, which they're still custom, but the more production type models are coming very soon, and Todd says they are top notch. So we're excited to have that coming out. Number 8 on the list is the Benchmate Vector. What made me put this on the list? Honest to God, it's just kind of a cool knife. It's got a good size to it, but I also really love the design. I love the tip. I love the way it all comes together. Good feel in the hand, and it was nice to see. I do kind of wish it wasn't assisted, but it's not a deal killer. But I do love seeing that 20 CV steel coming on Benchmates now. So hopefully we're going to see more of that going into 2020. But all right, so let's see. That was number 9. Let's get in, or I'm sorry, number 8. Let's get into number 7. The number 7 is a fixed blade, and if you follow us a lot, you know we don't do a ton with fixed blades much anymore. It's and especially customs. But this was our first year getting into W.A. Searle's his Frontier style knives, and we begged for these for a long time. We were finally able to get some from him at Blade Show, and they are just incredible. It's definitely a vintage style knife. It comes with a very cool vintage sheath. Different models on these. I just chose this one. It was just when I opened the cabinet, it was the one that was there. But the sculpting on these handles is just absolutely amazing. And the finish work, the detail, the true vintage look to these, the lightweightness, weightedness of it. You know, a lot of people are trying to do vintage stuff, and Alan was kind of there on these Frontier style knives before anybody else was in a lot of ways. So just really cool stuff coming from Alan Searle. He's always inventive, and we thought this was really cool from 2019. So number 6 on our list. This also came from Blade Show. This is the Wilmot Knives Custom NNK. Wilmot is local here to North Carolina and just started making folders within the past couple years. And the NNK was a new model. It came out this year. And honestly, when I went and saw it at Blade Show, I thought, what a cool knife. And I mean, this thing is completely custom. All the work is hand done. And just a very different design, very thick knife, but very cool looking. All of his knives are. And just, we're excited to have these, and we're excited to see what all Wilmot comes out with moving forward. So let me change my paper here. All right, number 5 on my list is our first ZT of the list. And this one's gonna shock some people, but it is the ZT0022, the tiny little guy from ZT this year. And a lot of people are like, what the hell was ZT doing? This thing's just too small, too tiny. And if you don't like small knives, then no wonder you don't like this one. But for us, we got to give ZT some credit. This was taking a bit of a risk. It's a very different, very, very small kind of 2-finger knife. And, but it's still, for such a small knife, it's very overbuilt. We love the way the carbon fiber looks on it. We love the small little clip on it. Just something very different, a very cool, very small. We've seen other people try and do small, very small flippers, and they typically try to way overbuild them. And ZT didn't. They didn't try and overthink it. So good design and cool little knife from ZT this past year. So, all right, number 4 on my list is another zero tolerance knife. So this is on here because it's got to be. It is the ZT0223. Once again, this was kind of a throwback tribute to the military, but a lot of people think they kind of missed the boat on how they did it. But what a knife. We've talked about that the fit and finish on these is probably, it's always top notch with ZT, but on these, it's probably the best we've ever seen. But some of you, a lot of you, haven't cared because you just hate this knife. So this knife is on our list because it's just been the most polarizing knife of the year. And if you pay attention to us and follow us on our social media, you know we've been having a lot of fun with it. Because some people hate it, but honest to God, guys, those that have bought these from us absolutely freaking love them. We have not had a single one of these returned. So I take that back. We may have had one, but at the most one. So it's an impressive damn knife. But at the same time, just polarizing. It's brought a ton of controversy to ZT because so many people hate it. Some for this big space, some for these holes, some for these handles. But like I said, either you love it or hate it. It's definitely brought a divide in the knife industry. But to me, it's brought up a lot of topics, a lot of interesting things. A lot of people have begged ZT to reach out and do something different. I'm not sure this is exactly what they had in mind, but like I said, it's made it. It definitely deserved to be in our top 9 just because A, we've had a lot of fun with it on social media. B, people love it or hate it, and it's just brought so many topics into the knife industry that it's been nuts. So that was number 4. Let's jump to number 3. So the number 3 isn't a particular knife in general. It is more the Hinder vintage line. Which kind of started, I guess, before this year, but maybe it didn't. But the vintage line from Hinder, this is the XM24. This literally just came in today with the textured. But, you know, Rick wanted to take everything back. Here it is in the XM18 3-inch. Take everything back, make it as much of a vintage as humanly possible. So Parkerized 01 steel, all the hardware is steel that has been flame anodized bronze. The vintage texture, the vintage tie finish on the lock side. It's just a really cool run. And every single one of them is serialized. And the serialization runs throughout the series. So we're into the 1,000 number now, but like I said, there isn't 1,000 of the XM24s. There's more like a couple hundred at the most. And it's just been a really cool series from Hinder. And I love seeing, I told you I love seeing the vintage stuff that W.A. Searles did with the Frontier design. And I've certainly loved seeing kind of the vintage World War I, World War II series stuff from Hinder. And it's been neat. I'm looking forward. He's done them in fixed blades. We've got new fixed blades coming, I think are Harpoon Spantos. And then, of course, quite a few folders. But it's a series that will be a limited run, and we just think it's really neat. So number 2 on our list really came out in 2018, but guys, we couldn't keep them in stock. We couldn't keep one around to show you. I couldn't even keep one. So for us, this didn't really come out till 2019 is what we're gonna go with, is the Koenig Mini Goblin. Just an unbelievably smooth knife for its size. And you know, how many knives in this right around 7-inch category with about a 3-inch blade on it do you see just fall shut like that? And just a stunning piece, an absolute stunner of a knife. This is our exclusive, so we could, if we wanted to, we could have just made this and said, well, these didn't come out till a few weeks ago, so this is the 2019 number 2 knife of the year for us. But truthfully, it's just mini goblins in general. They're just really cool, great everyday carry knives that also just double as finger occupiers, as flippers. It's just fun, fidgety, just amazing knives. So wicked sharp, cool design, very useful in an everyday carry atmosphere. So great job from Bill Koenig, as always. Every single one of his knives always comes out of the box damn near perfect. So number 1 on our list shouldn't surprise anyone, and that is the Hinder half-track Warnie. These just came out to us in November. They are exclusive to USA Made Blade, and if you follow us on any social media, you know how nutso we are about this knife. Very similar in a lot of ways to the Koenig Mini Goblin, but seems a little bit more overbuilt, feels a little beefier in the hand for sure, and just also another fun little flipper. Definitely don't get that smooth action you get on the Koenig, but great opening action, and just a hard daily user. As I've called it, this is the ultimate utilitarian everyday carry knife. And love that way that it angles back on the Warnie design. And it's just been, everyone we sold, everybody's loved them. Those that didn't and still carried it for a few days ended up falling in love. It's a true just everyday carry machine. So we've been very excited and really appreciate Hinder Knives letting us have that as an exclusive. So, well, folks, that's it. That's our top 9 for the year. We appreciate everybody tuning in and checking it out. And we hope you'll go over and check these knives out at usamadeblade.com and keep an eye out for everything we have coming in 2020. So from all of us at USA Made Blade, we hope you have an awesome new year.